Hi, I had to redo this video because turns out the sound wasn't on when I recorded it. So here's another try. I just wanted to say thank you to the new subby. I got number 39 on the roster. Thank you so much. And to all the 38 before you, thanks again. Thank you all ever so much for helping me out. It really does help. And as far as YouTube higher ups are concerned, they look at subscriptions and liking and sharing and commenting and subscribing, and so all that helps, and I thank you so much. It's really neat to see it going up instead of staying the same for so long. So but I'm thankful for those that stuck around before it started to grow again, and stuck around while I was away taking my 3-year break. I mentioned that before, so I'm gonna not rabbit trail and add more minutes to this video since I've already mentioned it in other videos. So another thing I wanted to say is there's an update to. I said that I had a goal of just having pop or soda pop or sody pop, one of the 4 things people call it. I've called it all those things at one time or another. Well, I wanted to have a goal of only having soda pop in the summertime or some special occasions. But the special occasions, I kept thinking about different ones throughout the year. And then I thought to myself, I didn't drink that much soda pop throughout the year anyway, so there's so many good ones out there. I'm not gonna have that goal of just having it at summertime. After all, it wasn't a promise; it was a goal. So I just took myself out of that um mindset and that goal I had, and said, no, I'm just gonna go back to normal and just not overdo it, but not restrict my intake either, because it wasn't all that bad in the first place. I did overdo it for the summer because I thought, well, since I implemented that goal, I gotta get my pop in during the summer and those special occasions. Those few special occasions or so, I thought. Few. I kept thinking of more and more. So I'm not gonna restrain myself from having pop throughout the year, because different things come up and different reasons for wanting pop, and there's so many good flavors that I'll just go back to how I would normally consume pop, which is not too much, not too little, just middle of the road usage or drinkage. So I'm going back to that. And then 2 other things. I forgot how great Banquet Chicken tastes it's made in a box, but it tastes homemade, and it's very tasty. And the only thing is I wish they'd make a box full of drumsticks, but they don't. And they don't have a lot of duck meat in the box either. It's 1 to 2 drumsticks, and then the rest are white meat, and maybe 1 thigh. So thighs are duck meat too. But my favorite piece of all of the chicken pieces is the drumstick, and they have far too little of the drumsticks represented in those boxes. I wish they'd make a box just chock-a-block full of the drumsticks. But if you want to refamiliarize yourself with how good Banquet Chicken is in the box, I got crispy chicken. I wish they would make chicken without skin on it, but still make it crispy. But they don't have that box anymore. They used to. Must not have been popular enough. But I tried to buy my share of those boxes because it was still yummy crispy, a yummy crispy coating, but without the skin. And the reason I would prefer the skin off of chicken is sometimes they forget important parts. You know, there's also hair on chicken legs, and not just feathers. And sometimes you get a stray hair on the fried chicken and things. So that's what I like to avoid without having skin on chickens. But Banquet does a good job of keeping the hair off their chickens. So you shouldn't have to worry too much about that. I don't. I haven't run into the stray hairs one might find on chicken in a Banquet box of chicken. They're pretty good about plucking the feathers and the hairs off. But I still wish they'd make the skinless Banquet chicken, crispy chicken again. I love it. You don't have to worry about the stray hair or the stray feather in skinless chicken in any brand, because that's where the feathers and hair would be if they missed a few or one or two. Anyway, and then another thing, I'm trying to make this shorter than the one that didn't have sound, so I'm going a little faster and leaving a few things out that were more rabbit traily than informative. Well, they were informative, but I've already mentioned them before, so I left it. I'm gonna leave. I was gonna say left it out, but I was gonna say I needed to fix that and say I'm going to leave some subjects out because I have already mentioned them in other videos, so I rabbit trail about it and make it longer for you. So, there's one final topic for this one, and I'm surprised how fast it's going, because the first video that didn't have sound that I'm redoing was 12 minutes and some seconds, and this is going to be less than that, I'm pretty sure. So I've only got one more topic, unless I really rabbit trail on this last topic, which I don't think I will. But you know me, by now, I just might milk it again and rabbit trail. I don't know. I never know how long these will be. Oop. And I've explained that scooting noise before, so I won't take up the time to re-explain it today. But I'm always in need of blankets because I'm colder than a lot of people, and my heat regulation isn't good, and my circulation isn't good. So I'm always on the lookout for blankets and comforters, and I prefer comforters to blankets, but it's because they're thicker and they're bigger and they go around better and they toss better. I think I can toss them better, and they're more encompassing and they're thicker to me anyway. But both of them cost a lot of money, so I got to thinking, well, how about an emergency blanket? I know that they are meant for vehicles and camping and or hikers and mountain climbers and such to try to get them warm or keep them warm. But how about those? And I looked into the price and I found one for $11 as opposed to like a comforter and a blanket price could be in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and above, depending on what you go for and the size and the pattern and everything and the material. But I found one really large um, emergency blanket, they call them, and it covered me all the way, and it made me so toasty warm because it goes off of body heat, and it just recirculates the body heat before it escapes. That's why you put it on really right away, so your body heat's still there to help it heat up, but it also takes it from the sun, and if it's during the daylight and things like that. And even if when the sun goes down, you can still get sun rays from to heat things up. Not as much, of course, and not as much if there's cloud cover either, but you can still get some benefits from the heat of the sun even at night. Just not as much as during the day. But anyway, that one blanket I got was huge, and it did its job so well. It kept me so toasty warm, and it was only $11. And you can also get multi-packs of heating blankets. They crinkle and they make noise when you touch them and stuff because of what they're made of. But once you're asleep, you won't hear the crinkling sound, and if you stay still for a few minutes, you're asleep, and then you won't hear the crinkling sound the materials make. And it's just as warm as a $60 blanket or comforter, or even more money. And you can get multiple in a package. I didn't price out the multiple in a package, but it's nowhere near the 50, 40, 50, 60, 70. Well, it depends on how much quantity you get, how much of a quantity. But I didn't price out the multiple emergency blankets in a package. I just wanted one or two. So, but if memory serves, it was nowhere near what one comforter and one blanket, a nice quality comforter or blanket would cost. It was nowhere near that cost for multiple emergency blankets. And they keep you warm, and they're really huge, and they're inexpensive. So, might want to check it out. So you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. See if you agree. Okay, those are my 4 topics, and I hope I went below what it was before. We'll see.